Hi guys, so today I thought I'd play around with the Nabla Secret Palette. It's a palette that has been sitting on my desk for the past 2 weeks and I've just touched it now because I haven't really been playing around with too much makeup lately. But this color story was gorgeous, so I was definitely suckered in and I wanted to pick it up. And I just love the additions of greens in here. Finally, thank you for some greens. It's definitely, in my personal opinion, the best color story that they've come up with so far. Again, because personally I love greens and purples. I would have loved to see some greens in the Poison Garden palette, but finally we've got some in this one. So very happy about that. So I'm going to do 3 looks with this palette and then also give you my thoughts on them. So if you want to see the looks, then just keep watching. I have the Secret Palette here with me today from Nabla. It's one of those palettes that, again, I got a while ago, just haven't had a chance to play with it. The color story in here, oh, it's beautiful. I think this is my favorite color story from Nabla to this date. I have their other palette, the Poison Garden palette, and the Dreamy palette. The greens, the purple, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna play around with it today. We're gonna do a look with it. I'm gonna start off with this Kiko Milano Long Lasting Shadow Stick that Mariam gifted me. I have been really enjoying these shadow sticks, if you haven't noticed. This is in the shade 38. I'm gonna use that as a base. Just going to apply that all over the eyelid. Just kind of rub that in. These also, I noticed, last really well on the eyelids as well. And I just kind of like that they're automated jumbo sticks, really super easy to use. I'm also going to add the shade 46 on top of that. It has got kind of like a duochromeness to it. It's just really, really pretty. So just on top of that, and again, just pat it out with my finger. I can clean it up afterwards because it's probably gonna get a little bit messy, but don't worry. I'm gonna worry about that later. I wanna add the purple. That purple is beautiful. Just place that over the top. This shade is really, really pretty. Really gorgeous purple shade. I think it helps to have this kind of sticky base. Otherwise I would have used glitter glue. I'm gonna blend out the edges a little with the Sonia G Crease one. Play Hard looks like an interesting shade, but it is one of those chunky shades. I'm gonna just use my fingers and just put that kind of, ooh, in the inner section of this eye makeup. That's a very pretty shade, but it is quite chunky. Not the most flattering on my eyelid, to be honest. Just gonna blend out the edges. My MAC brush. With that crease brush, I'm going to go into Ghibli and just put that in the crease a little and then blend it out again. I do want to add some of that green, so I think I'm gonna put that on the lower lash line. This is the shade Addiction. It's a gorgeous forest green shade. The shade is kind of going on a little bit patchy, I feel. I'm gonna blend that out, fuse it a little. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more of that purple because I feel like it's gotten a bit lost. The green is gorgeous, although a little chunky for my liking, but it does give that gorgeous kind of shine to it. Now I'm gonna go in with this shadow stick in 11. This is a beautiful teal color. I'm gonna go in a little bit with that purple on the lower lash line as well, just to kind of make it a little bit more grungy on the lower lash line. Okay, so I've got the rest of my outfit on and mascara, and I still feel like there's an element missing to this. I think I'm gonna use this matte black, now black, and create a really soft wing on the top. I just feel like it needs a little bit more definition, and hopefully this is a good black. We'll see. I'm just gonna add the tiniest bit of black on the top. And create a very soft wing. It's like not the most pigmented black. A really soft wing there. Okay, so wings are on. I think that's all I'm gonna do. I know it's a very quite dramatic look for me. I haven't done a very smoky eye look in a while. But I'm making the most of the fact that it's the weekend and I can wear whatever makeup I want. I am going to a kid's birthday, so I think it's a little bit dramatic for that, but we're gonna rock it. I thought these earrings match the eye look really well, so I decided to bring those ones out. Yeah, I think the pop of green makes it a little bit more fun, but obviously you don't have to do that. I've just been really into wearing color on my waterline lately. Just think it adds something extra without much effort. Yeah, I do still think Play Hard does look a little bit chunky on the eyes, but buffed in, it looks a little bit better. But it's not necessarily, again, the most flattering if you do have textured eyelids. These kind of chunkier like shades I find over time, I'm not gravitating towards them as much. By the way, I'm also using this RMK lipstick. This shade is one that I bought in Japan. I was a little bit contemplating whether I should keep it, but I do think it's nice for cool tone looks like this. So I have decided to keep it. Yeah, what do you think? Do you like this look? Let me know what you think. Another day, another look with the Nabla Secret Palette. And I think I'm gonna go in with the last row here. It's a neutral row. I know, I just don't feel like wearing color today, like much color. I've already put primer on. I'm using this eyeshadow primer from Hard Candy that Georgia gave me. And I do actually quite like this primer. I think it's better than the Urban Decay one. So I've grabbed myself a couple of clean brushes, which I'm gonna use today. I am gonna start off with Ghibli. This is a matte brown shade. It's kind of got a bit of yellow in it, I feel. My fringe is getting to that annoying point where it's kind of getting in the way. I need to get it cut soon. Very liberally, just the base shade, just to give my eyelid a little bit of color. Just pat that in, taking it into the crease as well. Now I am going to use black today. I did use it the other day and it's not a particularly impressive black. I feel like I've got better blacks in my collection. I'm just going to use this small Hakuhodo brush because I'm going to put it into the outer V. And I do want to create a soft wing with it. Kind of like I did with my Sunset versus Sunrise palette, Battle of the Palettes video. I want to create that soft wing, so I'm just going to use this just to lay down that color there, just dabbing it in because it isn't super pigmented. It's one of those blacks that definitely need to be built up. Just going to kind of outline the shape first and then going to create that wing after. The good thing is I don't see any fallout because I'm only taking a very small amount on my brush. So now that I've got that black kind of laid on, I'm going to take a an angle brush, just kind of stamp that in on my upper lash line, just keeping it really close. And then I'm going to kind of take the wing out. If you need, just go back in with that brush and soften up the edges because I don't want it to be too harsh. So that's going to be what I'm going to start with, and then I do want to add a shimmer on top. I think I'm going to just do a combination of these three at the bottom. Let's try it with a dry brush first and see how that goes. I'm going to pick up some of Hyper Sensual and just kind of above that black line. Not much is actually being picked up on the brush, so this suggests to me that this does need to be used on a sticky base or with a wet brush. Having said that, I don't want a really shimmery eye look today, so I'm just gonna lay it down as it is and just layer. Just gonna keep it within the mobile lid. I don't want to take it up to the crease. Yeah, there are just some days that I don't feel like very, very shiny metallic eyeshadow. It's not like a very smooth formula. And I don't want to get anything over top of that black, so I'm just going to be quite careful with where I'm placing it. Okay, so that's Hyper Sensual on there. I'm going to add a little bit of Creation Crown as well. And this is a deeper antique gold. I don't know if you're going to see any difference, but I kind of, like I said, I don't want it to be overly metallic, so I'm just going to be quite careful with where I place this. Again, it's not a super foiled metallic the way I'm using it, but it does have a bit more pigmentation than Hypersensual does. I'm gonna blend it out a little bit with a clean brush. On the inner part, I'm gonna add I Promise. This has a kind of more pinky sheen to it. I'm gonna add that in the inner portion of the eyelid. And again, just blend that out with that same brush before. Again, I'm going to go back in with a little bit of that black just to go over where, if there's been any kind of cross-contamination with the metallics. Just going to go over top, so because I want it to be really matte, that liner. On the lower lash line, I'm going to take what's left on here and just kind of stamp that in on the outer part and connect it to the outer V. But I'm not going to take it in all the way, just on the outside, and then blend it out with that brush. Okay, I'm gonna clean up and then come back. That tends to be my process because I like to kind of just see what else needs to be added. Bit of fallout there. I don't know how I got all that black on my face just then. I'm gonna tight line with some of the Marc Jacobs black liner because again, I want to keep it really really matte and black at the top, as well as a little bit on the lower lash line, just near the edge. I'm gonna do mascara, gonna change, and we're gonna just see if I need anything else. That's kind of like my process. Put the makeup on, change clothes, choose earrings, choose a lip, so that it kind of all looks cohesive. So the rest of my makeup is on. I've just added a combination of Just the Colors More Cream Please with Chanel Chicness on top. I actually really like this look. Although it's quite simple, I think it looks really sophisticated. The color story is not complex. For me, this color story is like going back to basics in a way. Of the 3 rows, it's definitely it's the safest one. But you know, sometimes I don't always feel like wearing a whole lot of color on my eyes, and you know, I'm going to work today, so I wanted something kind of simple and a little bit sophisticated and put together, and I really feel like that today. I just think with a soft gradient wing, I'm really enjoying these kind of softer ombre kind of wings. I just feel like it just looks really elegant and not too over the top, sometimes like a really graphic wing can. The layering of metallics, it looks quite nice, especially with Creation Crown. I think this is a gorgeous antique golden shade. It's quite pretty. Hypersensual, the texture is like more of that glittery type, almost like a less glittery version of Play Hard, and then I Promise was more of a satin kind of finish, I would say. So the metallics aren't overly shiny, which I think in a way makes them a little bit more, you know, palatable if you're more of a matte kind of person, if you're not wanting something super shiny and blinding on the eyes, especially like on a work day. This is definitely more my comfort zone than yesterday's. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Do you like this look? Is it something that you'd wear? So I'm going to be doing my last look with the Secret Palette, and I am going to go in with the top row because pretty much that's the row I haven't really played around with all too much on camera. I did play around with it the other day and I wasn't particularly happy with my look, so I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to see how it goes. I've already primed my eyelids with the Hard Candy Eye Primer. I did notice that these eyeshadows last pretty well on me. Yesterday after I came back from work, my eyes look pretty fresh still. I'm going to go in with the shade Contigo, just in the outer V, just sweeping it across as a kind of base color. It's kind of like a dusty mauve shade. I do like having a fringe, but sometimes it really just gets in the way, like today. I am gonna go in with the shade Aesthetic. This is kind of like a taupe shade. We are just going to add a little bit of that, maybe just all over mobile lid. I reckon this would probably be quite a nice one and done kind of shade, just because it gives a bit of sheen to the eyelid. And on top of that, with the same brush, gonna add Romeo. This is a slightly deeper shade. It's kind of like a burgundy brown, I'd say. Just put that a little bit into the outer V, just dabbing that on. Now with the pink, I am not 100% sure what to do with the pink, because I did use Julieta the other day and I didn't really like how it looked on my eyelid, but I think I might put a little bit into the inner corner. Going in with this Crease Pro brush from Sonia G, kind of adding it here, and I do want to sweep it up a little bit into the crease. And blending it out. Now I kind of want to take Big Experience as well and pop that into the inner corner. I don't know if this is going to look good. We're going to see. I never usually put like a dark shade like this into there. Yeah, this shade, it definitely needs a glitter glue. So I'm going to add a little bit of glitter glue because otherwise it doesn't really show up too strongly. Just going to add it kind of in the inner corner and take it a little bit up. Hopefully that will help it along. Yeah, see, that's showing up a lot better. That's a lot of pink. I'm gonna clean it up after. Let's just lay it down for now. What do you think? A bit strange. And again, blending that out. Take that pink as well, actually. I'm not sure how I feel about the pink inner corner pop of color. I might just clean that up a little bit because I think I just went a little just too much with that. Because I feel like if it was a little bit less, it might look a little bit better. I'm also going to take a little bit of concealer as well. That's too much pink for my liking. I'm just going to pop a little bit in here. Clean up that area because I want it to be bright. What do I want to do with my lower lash line? I am not sure. I think I'm just going to add a bit of Contigo on the lower lash line. Keep it quite pared back because I don't want to detract from the pink. Okay, so as usual, I am going to do the rest of my face and then come back and then kind of balance anything out. I do think that the pink on the inner corner is just a little bit too dark. So I might bring some highlighter into it. So I'm gonna add a bit of this Aura of Synergy from Danessa Myricks in Light. It is a loose highlighter. It's got a tinge of pink. So I feel like this would look really nice over the top. I just wanna add a bit of light to the inner corner because I feel like it is a little bit too dark for my coloring. I think this would look like a really cool pop of color if you had a deeper skin tone, but I do wanna lighten it up. So I'm gonna add just a little bit with this Smith's brush. Just to the inner corner. As you can see, it just brightens it just that little bit. So I am going to take kind of like this brush and that brush and just kind of work them in together. And I'm going to go in back with a little bit of Big Experience and just, especially near the tear duct. This is the look. Definitely took a bit of finessing to get to where I like it. Pink is definitely, it's kind of not in my comfort zone, and this is quite a bright metallic pink. So yeah, I don't use these kind of colors all too frequently. I've added some of this Jolly Rouge lipstick in 15, Pink Magnolia, because I just want to use it up. As you can see, I've just got that little nub left, so I'm trying to work my way through it. I don't know about this look. I don't know about a pink as an inner pop of color. I think maybe if you had a deeper skin tone, this would look a little bit better. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Again, like, pinks are not really in my comfort zone. Like, I do not find that Giulietta looks good on my skin tone. I just feel like it looks really strange. It's way too cool toned pink for me. Big Experience is a gorgeous shade, but again, it's not one that I necessarily would use a lot of. These shades are fine. I mean, like Romeo Contigo aesthetic, they're kind of easy to wear taupey mauve shades. I definitely preferred yesterday's look a lot more. Like, I felt like that was more of a me look. I felt a lot more put together. And I felt like I was having a really good makeup day compared to today. So I'm actually back with my fourth look. Today I've just used Addiction and Rosemary. I haven't filmed the process because honestly it's a super easy eye look. Basically started off with Addiction. Addiction does go on quite patchy. In my first look I did use it on the lower lash line as well. It doesn't go on particularly opaque, so I've added Rosemary on top of that, and I think those two work well together. But Addiction by itself, not the best green, unfortunately. I just want to keep it really simple. I don't have anything on my eyelids, my mobile lids, just kept it on the bottom. I just kind of wanted something really simple. So yeah, let me get into my thoughts on this palette now. Okay, so I pretty much used all the shades. Yes, I have used all the shades now. And you know what, I don't like this palette as much as I thought I would, strangely enough. The most interesting shades to me are kind of like the teals and Fantasize. And I think they are very pretty, but I don't necessarily feel like as a whole I've created my favorite looks from this palette, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. I think what I'm realizing is it's a little bit too cool toned for me. I think I would prefer maybe a little bit more of warmer shades contrasted with some of the cooler shades. I think what also I don't particularly love about this palette is that some of the shades really do need, you know, you need to put a bit more effort in to make them work. For example, Play Hard really does need a glitter glue, as well as Fantasize, and some of these shades like Big Experience, Hypersensual, they don't look as strong and pigmented without a sticky base. It's fine, I can do it, but it's just a little bit more effort than I'd like. You know, for me, I'm all about ease of application. If I can get away with just using a dry brush, then I will do that. I Promise Aesthetic, Romeo, and Crown Creation are more like satins, so I didn't find that, you know, with a dry brush they're fine and they go on really smoothly and nicely. They give a bit of sheen to the eyes, but they're nothing overly metallic, and that's fine. I don't always need a super strong metallic eyeshadow, and I think it's nice that they have contrasted a few matte shades with some more sparkly ones with more satins. So I do like a variety of textures. I think that's great. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence about this palette. I think it, like I said, it's fine. And yeah, there are definitely shades that I love within this palette, but there are shades that I could definitely take or leave. The NAR black, I mean, the black is not a fantastic black. So yeah, that's kind of like the end to this 3 looks 1 palette. We're ending on a bit of a, I don't know, we're neither here or there, I don't know. I've only tried this palette out like 4 times now, so I think time will tell whether or not I gravitate towards this palette. There are some colors in here that I really enjoy, there are others that I don't, so it's for me, this is not like the perfect palette. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say about it. Let me know your thoughts on this palette. Do you have it? Do you like it? Do you find it easy to use? Do you find the color combinations, you know, inspire you? Yeah, I want to know what you think. And if you do have, like, if you have also multiple of the Nabla palettes, let me know which is your favorite as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.